2, 1,
Two,
0.
one. What did you want? A zero?
1.
No, one. No, one is.
Yeah,
Wait.
you need a 0, man.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just do this again.
Now, if you go by the Wayne's World, 5, 4, 3.
Oh, you don't. But then they go on one. There's no zero.
They go on
They go on.
that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is the show where we don't even know how to
we're
introduce
on?
ourselves. Yes. Yes, we are.
You pushed it. Wow.
Yeah, that's not even like. Yeah.
I thought I was talking just to you.
Mm-mm.
Hey, everybody.
My bad. I should have told
You
you.
guys look good.
I thought I did. Thanks, Joe. You guys look good too. So yeah, we don't have our producer with us here today. So we're kind of just with this layout for today. It's really simple. Doesn't have any chat in it. Doesn't have the topics up above. But this is all we could get because at the moment, Jesse is taking care of his wife, who just went through some surgery. The surgery went well, but she's recovering, and that's always a little difficult. So he's taking care of her, and we thought, you know what, we'll just let him do that, and we're gonna go ahead and put ourselves live without him. So we're not gonna have the high production value we normally do, but at least you get us still, and along with us is Princess. But yeah, so our chat hostess is here to save the day and make things work on the on that end of the spectrum. Yes. Anyhow, your host today is Joe, so I'm gonna let him take the scene.
I'm the host.
Okay, fine. I'll be the host. Whatever.
That's fine. I can host. Ryan's the producer today.
No, I'll host. That's actually my job today. I am the producer and the host, and that's fine. I can do.
Wow.
Both.
You're the host.
I also have to. I don't have to do anything. I just I'm hands-off producer. I press the "Let's go live" button, and then I won't do it. Then I don't do anything from there.
That's true. That's true.
It's pretty easy.
Jesse has a harder job because he summarizes all the topics and puts them in there. And
yeah,
stuff.
I won't be doing that. That's for sure.
And he gives us cues and notes and tells us to be smarter and stuff.
Yeah, that's the word choice. Hey guys, be smarter, all right? I don't think he's ever said that. So anyways, hey Magician Jester, nice to see you here again. Kendra as well. How you guys doing? Is Akil here? Yeah, no, Akil's here too. Awesome. Akil, car accident? No, I don't think so. It was some kind of medical issue. I'm not sure what it is, but things are going well. Yeah. Hey Marjandy. Hey Angel of Music. Hey, wow, long time no see you. How's it going?
And Kendra, yes, we will pray for your mom's cousin.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Cousin Kevin died, so.
Oh.
Yes.
Is that what Akil was referring to with the car accident?
I don't know. Akil, that was before.
Yeah, that was before. Okay.
Is your chat up to date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Princess just said, "Howsy, Marjandy."
Howsy, Marhandi.
Howdy. Yeah, Marhandi. Yeah, it's probably Marhandi. It's probably Espanol, Spanish. It's a Spanish J, which is a English H, not to confuse with the Spanish H. They are very different.
Yes. And for all of you who live in Spain,
you had a car accident today. Ooh, okay. Well, all right. That's pretty rough. Yeah, we'll pray for them, and you. Hope things go well for you. That's a lot of money, but at least it wasn't worse, because it could be a whole lot worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. What were you gonna say?
Part of the issue with car trouble on the side of the road is the sitting there and waiting.
Yeah.
And you gotta just. You're like, and it's gonna cost me money to fix this, and oh my gosh, and I gotta wait, and da 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 da. And it's very nice, Kendra, that you had somebody there to help, which that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. No, I was just gonna say because you were talking about Spanish. I wanted to say to anybody who lives in Spain,
Mm.
thank you for making one of my songs. I don't know which one. Successful over there. Apparently, one of my songs is being played in bars and on TV and on the radio in Spain.
In Spain, one of your songs is being
Yes.
played in bars, on the
Yeah,
radio,
the
and in
most is
TV.
in bars.
Which song?
I don't know.
That's
There's very
wild.
few.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the
There's
what? Three?
very few that are registered with ASCAP, and I'm getting royalties from Spain, mostly from discotheques.
That's so crazy, man. I didn't even know about that. That's nuts, dude. That's awesome.
Yep.
I mean, I heard that you were, you had some things being withheld from Spain. We were talking about it. We didn't know exactly what was going on. So that's what's going on. That's pretty nuts. That's awesome, dude.
I'm not sure which song, but I'm pretty sure it's either Sail On or Message to Pop Culture.
Yeah.
Joe is now Jose. Jose!
Jose!
So I don't know. It's funny. Like I sit there and I listen to those songs and I'm like, in clubs. That's a weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. Like I guess I never pictured that, and so I'm like, I wonder if all kinds of things cross through my brain. Like maybe something I say in there sounds like some kind of weird Spanish word, and so like it's funny to them.
Oh,
so they
that's
listen
interesting.
to it over and over again.
Yeah.
Because it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, I don't care. They play it.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be like a meme over there. It's like, he says, ha ha ha, he says this word. It's not even fitting.
Yeah.
And they're just
but
having
they
a great
speak
time.
with a Russian accent in Spain.
Don't they?
In Spain, they speak Russian.
They go speak... in Spain. Everyone is Russian because they come from Russia.
Yeah, no, it's the weirdest thing because every quarter, it seems like every quarter now, I get a check from ASCAP. That's the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers.
Mm-hmm.
And my releases in the last couple of years, I've released as an ASCAP member, and they are the ones who like track where stuff's being played, and they charge radio stations, TV stations, and bar owners and all that kind of stuff, and they pay a fee, and then that all this gets boiled down, and they allocate it to whatever artist is getting played in those areas. And all of a sudden I started getting royalty checks, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? That's so weird.
Yeah,
they're not huge, they're not like huge checks, but it's, hey, I'm not going to turn it down. But yeah, and I'm like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, boom, and I found out it's international, and so like nothing in the United States. And I'm like, okay, because on Spotify I have like 2 streams per month, and it's like one stream is me playing it for my kids, and the other one is like my friend, and then like
nice.
And come to find out, then as I started to dig in further, I found out, yep, it's all happening over in Spain, and like 70% of it's happening in clubs, bars and clubs in Spain.
Wow. Just wow, that's like awesome, dude.
10% on TV or radio, and then 8% on TV, something like that.
Even on TV. That's so interesting.
It's bizarre. I don't know. So any of you guys who are from Spain, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you to Spain.
And I hope
you have got to look more into that, like, because that is so weird. That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into this today, hey?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
We've got. Let's see. Hey. Who's with us? Cherry's here. Is Sparrow here? Okay, I'm just gonna read through the names on the list, and if you're here, be like, just write in the chat some kind of fish that you know about. Tuna fish. That's the only one I know. So Hyrule, Ichikaru Jack, Sumner Kagan, John Doe, Jehoshaphat, Akil, Cherry, and Sparrow. That's who we've got on our backlog our list right now.
Mm-hmm.
Magikarp actually does count as a fish if you want to include Pokemon. Porcumon?
Porcupine.
It's like the pig versions of all the Pokemon. I would like to see that. It would be cute. Porcumon.
Porcupine.
Yeah. It's Porkachu.
Yes. Oh yeah, we never did. You never did the intro.
Oh my gosh. Okay, welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is a show where we talk about whatever issues and problems or worries you guys might have throughout this week or throughout this year or even just today. Sometimes we go through life and we have things that we're just like freaking out about. It's really nice to be able to just talk about it to somebody else. Sometimes they have a different perspective, or sometimes you already know what to do. You just need a little bit of encouragement to kind of get through, to give you that extra push to continue to move on. We're here to be friends. We're here to be helpful. Maybe share a little bit of advice and experiences from our lives and those issues, because this is something that we wish we would have been able to have when we were young. So this is what we're doing for you guys. Taking time to be with you guys, to share our experiences about whatever problems you might be going through today. So don't be shy. Feel free to share whatever's on your mind. And everyone here is amazing. No one here care to insult anybody or point out your flaws or anything like that. We're all really awesome here. So feel comfortable to put whatever worries you have. Everyone here in the chat is really helpful and awesome. You guys are. So, yeah. Let's see. Who do we have here?
Oh, Jehoshaphat has an update too.
Oh, Jehoshaphat.
Yeah.
Oh, you do. Awesome.
So we've got multiples. So tell you what. Oh, Jehoshaphat is here, and that's the various issue in my life part 2, back from January 15th.
Oh yeah. You're right. You are right. Sparrow is also here, so that's good. And Akil is also here. The 3rd chapter. I don't even know if if Akil would allow us to do that, but we'll see if we can give it a shot. So yeah. Let's do Jehoshaphat. Let's start with that one. Are you cool with that, Jeho?
Who? Me?
What? No. You're always cool with it.
I'm cool with whatever, man.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Oh, hey, Gage. How's it going, man?
Bye, Gage.
Yeah, nice to
Bye,
see
Gage.
you. All right. Yeah. Bye. That was quick. Nice. We have one from Jehoshaphat. This is the various things wrong in my life, part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Did we go through this one already, or?
Let me see here.
Yeah, some of this, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was stuff going on. Okay, yep. This was the one where, okay, so for background, this is where Jehoshaphat had, there were some issues at home with some kind of abusive situations and stuff like that. So.
He was basically in a situation where he was at home. His dad was kind of forcing him to pay rent. He needed to get a job. He was struggling in that area, and was trying to figure out what he needed to do, especially because his father's a little bit abusive, and he was thinking about moving to with his mom, but he wasn't sure if that's going to be possible. She lives a few states away. He's trying to figure out maybe he could. We suggested maybe moving in with some friends or even strangers in the area, getting an apartment, things like that. Yeah, real rough time.
Oh, but it looks like he got the work-study position, and it's going well. So that's awesome.
Good.
Man, great.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really great. So did we do this one? The various things wrong in my life, part 2? I don't think we did this one, did we?
Oh, partial coverage to cover again is what Princess says. Okay, at the time of part 1. And so then, yeah, all right. So, because some of this we did, and yeah, there was an issue with cleanliness of what house we're living in, and what to do and where to go and all that kind of stuff. Um, there were systems of punishment that were,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, it was tough to deal with.
So do we move on then? Do we not do this one? Do we take it off the list without doing it, or do we?
I don't know. I don't remember. It was a while. It was like a whole month ago.
Yeah.
Oh, they strong armed you out of $440 to get to work on Tuesday, so that sucked. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I understand how getting money, dealing with that whole situation.
Money to make money. Yeah. Okay, it's just updates. Well, yeah. Hey, that's really awesome to hear, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
So where are you living now? Where are you still living in the same place, Joseph? Or did you move or?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Well, I think that he's still living because he said posting may vary due to internet access. As it sits, I'm in a public library because my father turned off the internet at the house. So please bear with me because this is only the beginning. That's what he wrote here. So you're still there, okay? But you have a plan in March. Okay, awesome.
Good.
That's really good to hear. Yeah, making those plans is super important. So good on you, and I hope that it goes cleanly for you.
Yeah. So keep us updated on what's going on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you feel like posting at bss.studio, or if you've got something you want to post here in the chat for us to talk about, man, do it up. And
yeah.
I always appreciate you coming by and giving us updates, because that's great to hear when you're moving forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially like when you come on and you're in a stuck position, and it's tough to deal with. It sounds like you've got some light at the end of your tunnel now. So you kind of got some hope breathed in there. You're doing something and you're moving, which is great. I know for me, that always tends to help me. Anytime I take action in some direction, if I'm in some kind of a funk, it helps to just numb it a little bit, I guess. Whatever's going on. There was somebody who said, what does it say? They can't hurt you if you're out. Like if you're out working, they can't get you, and they can't get to you. They're talking about talking about bill collectors, or they're talking about, somebody who's bullying you or whatever. If you go out and you go do something, then it's out of mind. You're focused on what you're doing. You're moving forward. And a lot of things get solved that way. And really, the only way you're ever going to get out of a situation is by taking action anyway.
Sure.
I have thought myself into all kinds of problems before.
Oh yeah, we all have, I think.
Yeah, but nothing changes unless you actually start doing something. So, yeah. So anyway, awesome. Thanks for the update, Joe.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by whenever you're here. It's great to see you, man. So anyhow, yeah, let's get on from that one. This is probably gonna be a no. We've got Akil third chapter in here. I don't know what that's doing in here, but if it's in here,
it's in here. It says it's bad. I don't know how to word it anymore. Anyone remember what kind of person I am here? Oh, and he's got a
third chapter. Akil.
He's got some kind of file.
Hikikomori. Oh, graduate. All right.
There's an attachment that
There's an attachment.
It's an unknown file type.
Unknown file type. Akil? What? 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 I don't even know what file this hold on. What's the extension even?
Wait, who is Hikikomori graduate? Is that Akil?
Is that Akil? I'm so confused. This is type of file. File. I don't even know if it's a. Hold on. Let me change it to a .text and see if it even opens. .txt. Let's try to open it now. Nope. This is not a text file. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. Judging by the. Oh man, I don't even want to make a guess on that. I do not know. It says third chapter - Akil M. So.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
okay,
that's my
Akil
account.
Confirms that's my account. Okay, perfect.
He says I don't remember this.
Wow, it was just today. I remember you're an awesome person.
Oh, it's supposed to be an audio recording. Oh no! What? Well, did you do it through your phone? Because I wonder what file type it's supposed to be. Because like,
Akil, I gotta go.
Oh no!
Don't go, Akil.
Yeah, no, we love you, man. We love you. Okay, well, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't even know what to do with this file. So I'm gonna have to move on. But again, I was so excited. Wish you would. I wish you would share more. But you know, it's all right, dude. It's all right. I get it.
I remember what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
You're an awesome.
See, we both agree. No, you're awesome. You've always been a thrill and a joy to have in the chat. And your sentiments
and your topics are awesome too.
Yeah, they've always been awesome. They usually were very lengthy and very reflective, which was awesome. I always liked your topics, dude. So, don't be, even if you like write it and it's like super short and simple. Like for example, Sparrow, his are really really short, and they're great. So don't worry about it. If you can't find the right words, just write something, and then just be like, okay, that looks weird, but I'll just post it. Cause you know what, we want to do it. We just want to be a part of your life, man.
Yep. And I'll tell you this: if you're still listening, you are wise beyond your years. You've had some experiences that are absolutely incredible from the posts that you've put in here.
Yeah.
You've experienced some amazingly difficult stuff and some so the wisdom that you gain from that, from going through hard times is incredible. Yeah, like in fact, I came across this quote recently about, let's see. Okay. So I came across this quote. It says, "Our body has this defect that the more it is provided care and comforts, the more needs and desires it finds." Is this defect. So basically what that's saying is the more we're comforted, the more we're pampered, the more we're spoiled, the more stuff we find that we need and want. And, the more we get enslaved by our desires and the more basically bratty we become, right? But the more we struggle, the more we have challenge, the more we're challenged through things, the opposite happens, where we become more wise, we become more at peace with our surroundings. I mean, if we handle them right, that's the way that can go. That quote came from Saint Teresa of Avila, and that was like 500 years ago. So she's talking about bodily comforts and care and all that kind of stuff. This was before indoor plumbing, and this was way before the internet.
That's yeah. She's talking about like the comfort of technology and things like that before she had technology.
Right. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, Akil, the stuff you've been through has value.
Yeah, actually,
And
Akil, you have quite an amazing story. I remember a lot of it and what you've had to deal with friends, with death, with
with family, with
with
conflict,
family,
with
with
mhm,
lots of conflict, with wars and stuff, and religious and physical and things like that. Man, it's your story is incredible,
mhm.
and I seriously hope that you get to share it and have a huge impact on people's lives.
Yeah,
So I want
you
you
totally
to
could.
make sure you believe in yourself, dude. Just believe in yourself a little bit more because I believe in you. I know you're amazing. And sometimes it's a struggle to realize that we're amazing ourselves. That's a lot of times the hardest part is like coming to grips with our own amazingness.
Mm,
And it's sometimes you look at other people and like, well, it's easy for them to think they're amazing because they are. Well, so are you. And it's not easy for them to come to think that they're amazing. It's a process.
mm.
A lot of it is through positive reinforcement, and maybe you don't even have any of that really, other than things like this. But you know, it's like if you recognize that so many other people are amazing, you have to at some point just realize like, oh, okay, we're all human, and so of course, I am too. But yeah, you have all the world reason in the world to believe, to have faith in yourself and your abilities, and where you're gonna go because you're awesome, dude. Just I know you are. I'm not saying that because you're human. I'm saying that because I've seen what you've been through and how far you've come and how much that like if I was in your position, I I would be all kinds of crazy messed up, like way beyond what you think you are. Trust me. I would not be as well off as you are, dude. You're awesome, and you've got a ton of things to be proud of in your life. So, and mostly that being yourself. So, yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
So come on back whenever you get the chance. We
Yeah.
love you, Ekio.
I hope you heard all that.
Yes.
Um,
If you didn't, just play it again.
yeah, yeah. If you didn't hear this, go back and play it again. How do you know? Okay. Um. So yeah.
All right. Next in line, we've got Cherry.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go. Cherry. Yeah, you're here. Um, this is titled "The Final Stretch."
Mm.
And it reads as follows: So close to the end, yet it feels so far. I've got less than 2 months before I graduate from high school. School is so exhausting, and it is so much work. Having to wake up at 5 in the morning to make the bus really wears me out, making me fall asleep in class because the teachers have no enthusiasm in what they do. It's as if someone's reading the words longest dictionary in a robotic, emotionless voice. Yet, if we sleep, we get written up. It's ridiculous. And I'm incredibly tired of it at this point. Okay, sorry. I'm incredibly tired of it at this point. 17, almost 18, years of this, and because I'm so close to the end, it's as if I can't wait to be finished. I just want to be done now, but I've still got a little less than 2 months of dealing with this. And sure, it's not that much, especially in the grand scheme of things. I'm almost done, but every day is a struggle to wake up on time, stay awake, pay attention, and care about doing work. I already have 10 unexcused absences, 11 counting today. I keep on skipping school because I'm so done. Sorry. There we go. There was a box in the way. I keep skipping school because I'm so done with it. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm stressed over it, more just that I'm kind of done at this point. It's the final stretch, and I'm tired of it all.
Mm.
Thanks, Cherry. Thanks for the message, the comment. I don't even know what to call it. The paragraph. Thanks for your input here. This is actually really relatable. Topic. Thank you, Princess. That's what I was looking for. Topic. Thank you so much for this topic. It's great. This is so relatable. And I'm sure, like, anybody in your age group, well, most people, anybody who's been through school can absolutely relate to this. It's a great topic. And, yeah, and it's one of those things, like, you know that it's coming. You'll get through it. But at the same time, it's just like, what do I do? You know, like I'm so done, so exhausted, and I can see the end, and it's just like, what's the point? Why do I want to try even like any at all? Why, like, just let's just, it's like an easy ride from here.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I show up. You're tired of you're tired of being tired, and then you're tired of being yelled at for being tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all relatable. I think that Joe and I have both been through quite a bit of this in our lives. I would say probably Joe even more than I. So yeah, I'm gonna give it over to Joe and let him give you some of his thoughts.
Yeah. Man, I know the feeling. I was pretty fortunate my senior year in high school, because uh, I had, I was going to be a music major when I went to college. And so the last half of my day, every day, was um, was band and music related stuff, right? So in my last semester, I had my first hour I had off actually. They just, you know, because I was a senior and I had all my credits and everything that I needed to graduate, I was able to take I was able to take 1 hour off in the day, right? And so I took the first hour off because I didn't want to get there that early. And so I had two classes of normal stuff, right? Like, so I had two normal classes, and then it was lunch, and then I had band, and then there was a music theory course that they created for a group of us that were going to be music majors. And then after that, I was the band aid I was like the assistant in the band room for the freshman band
Band
class, right?
aid,
I was the
not
band aid.
not like a band aid you stick on your wound. Though maybe sometimes he was.
Yeah, so like it was that it was crazy because that kind of just helped with the pain of getting through all that. I mean, if I would have had stacked up with a bunch of hard classes, it would have been terrible. But I remember, oh my gosh, those two classes that I actually had to take that were like, actual classes that weren't stuff I was interested in. um, those are hard to get through, man. And I understand why you're skipping school. I understand. I tell you, one thing to remember, it's going to be over soon. Now, you don't have the perspective of it being done. You don't have the luxury of looking back right yet, right? But I'll tell you one thing. One thing that I know for sure that is tired of something I am, when I'm done with something, I look back and I'm more proud of myself and I have more confidence if I pushed at the end rather than let go at the end. And so I built in fact, I kind of learned this in swimming. They'd always tell you, save a little bit of energy for the very, very end, because that's when you're going to really want to push, like right at the end of the race, right? And it's the same with anything. I do that in my workouts now. I have it built into my workouts where everything's timed on all my workouts, right? I have like 30 seconds of some exercise and then a minute of some exercise and then some rest and then it repeats, right? So there's a cycle of, timed stuff. And always at the end, the last 15 seconds of whatever I'm doing, I have a little reminder in there to push harder. So no matter how tired I am or how in pain I am, I always like get this little reminder to just kick it right at the end, to just go hard. And it's the thing you don't want to do. You never want to do it because your body's screaming at you. Your mind is screaming at you. You're giving yourself all kinds of excuses. There's all kinds of stuff going on in your mind and in your heart and in your body, and But when you learn to shut that off and just push at the end, when you're done, you feel like you had a major victory. It's the weirdest thing. Now, truth be told, I've done both, where I've sloughed off toward the end and, and just kind of muddled through and got to the finish, and it was fine. And I've pushed at the end. And you're going to be fine either way. You're going to survive. You're going to go on. You're going to do some awesome stuff after you get done with school. So it's not really going to affect your life a whole bunch. But inside, in your mind, if you push at the end, you're going to feel way better about who you are because you did that. You're going to have a win that you wouldn't have had if you muddled through. Either way, the situation probably won't be much different looking at it from the outside. But just in your mind and in your heart, you're going to feel better. So, yeah, I tell you, I know how hard it is. And I've had experiences like that even in my adult life. It's that last little bit of time, the anticipation, it's happening and it's scheduled. Like you know it's coming. Like you see it on your calendar. And the anticipation, that last little bit of time as it gets closer and closer and closer. It's like, ugh. So I don't know. For me, it helps to have a calendar that I check off days. But not just check off days in anticipation for an event or whatever. But check off those days because I did something. I did a certain activity that day. So I have this routine, and this might help you too. In fact, I would encourage everybody to do this. And I'm sure if you've been on this show, you've heard me talk about this before. But I think of 3 things that I'm thankful for. I do this like first thing in the morning, or one of the first things I do in the morning, right? I think of 3 things I'm thankful for. Then I think of 3 things I'm looking forward to. And then I think of 3 things I'm going to do today to make my life better. Whether it's moving me toward my goals or it's just making my life better in general, either way. And I just do that. I do that simple thing. It takes like a minute. And when I do that exercise, I put an X over the day on a calendar. And what I find is, not only do I feel better because I do the exercise, but the longer I do it and the more I see those X's, the more confident I am because I'm like, hey, I'm doing this consistently. I'm doing this well. And then the event just comes automatically. Like the event happens, it comes and goes, and it's like, oh, I hardly even notice the anticipation there at the end, because that's always the most painful part. So anyway, that's just some ramblings, I guess, but hopefully there's some stuff in there you can grab a hold of, and I'm gonna turn it over to Ryan and hear what he has to say.
As a side note, Princess, yeah, that sounds really rough. Her dad just got her, I don't know, but was recently in an accident with a skiing accident. Says it's not life-threatening, but it's pretty serious. So, yeah, we'll pray for him. Thanks for letting us know. So, yeah, no, this is again, like I said, it's really relatable. I remember my last year of high school. So my last semester, I took all of the classes I had been putting off. So it was a lot easier for me. Those classes were things like drama, which was required in my school, and which basically didn't really do a whole lot, much of anything. So that was really easy. I didn't take any of the hard classes. I took all easy classes for my last semester, except for maybe one. And so it went a lot smoother. And yeah, I was very glad that I did. Because it was at that point where I realized, why am I taking these ridiculously difficult classes? Like, I'm barely getting through them. I'm not paying attention. I'm getting through based on the tests. And if I can just get through with the tests, it's like I'm clearly smart enough to just do it anyways. Like, I don't need to like take a class and get like all stressed out about it. And like, you know, if I can figure it out, and not even going to be like using this type of information when I get out of high school, for the most part.
That's the really frustrating part.
You know, and kids know that. The kids will go, I won't be needing this after I graduate, and the teachers will be like, yes, you will. You'll never know. And then the kids are usually right. Actually, most of that stuff you don't use, but it doesn't mean you don't use some of it. It is important. It is useful. It is interesting to be able to know things like, you know, it's super important to know basic math, right? At least. It's important to be able to read and to write. It's important to be able to do things that you learn basically up until middle school. Once you hit high school, a lot of those things are kind of like, they are really specific. And I think that high school is more designed towards, hey, you're going to be in college soon. Here's a bunch of different things like that are upper level, higher knowledge, and if you end up interested in one of them, then you know what field you should be going into. But then the problem is they display it in such a way that is so boring that no one finds any of it interesting. Unless you have like a really good teacher, you know, which most of the time you not shaming any of the teachers out there, because they're, you know, they are kind of forced into the subject for that. They're like, I knew a chemistry teacher who didn't even want to be a teacher. He just ended up there, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I ended up getting a teaching degree, but that's because I had to, because there was nothing else I could do in my field. Like, I love chemistry, but I don't like teaching it. And now they're forcing me to be a physics teacher. I don't even know physics. I know chemistry. And they're like, and this was what, you know, and it's not his fault. He was just trying to make money, you know? So of course you've got teachers out there who aren't very good. You've got teachers who are bland. And that makes sense. You know, a lot of teachers are just people who are really smart, who excelled in an area in life, who liked it, and then got pushed into a position where they're like, oh, great, I'm supposed to teach people? I don't know. I don't have any people skills. I spent all my time working on, like, numbers, not people. What am I supposed to do? I've got, like, a bunch of kids I have to control now. Yeah, exactly. Right? See, that's, the teachers aren't taught, you know, like they, a lot of them don't go in that profession because they want to be in that profession. They go in that profession because that's the only thing they can find. Mm-hmm. So, and that's actually why my brother got out of doing math, because he figured that out. He was like, wait a minute, I like math, and I'm in like really high level math at college. Like crazy level. Like, I don't even understand what he would tell me. Like, I'm like, what kind of class is that? And he'd explain it, and I'd be like, I think I need like 4 classes of math to even understand what, like, the basis of what you're even trying to explain to me. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about, like, at all. So yeah, like, then he was like, you know what? This doesn't make any sense, because at the end of all of this, there's only one career path for me: to be a teacher.
Math teacher.
To be a math teacher. And he's like, me and people don't, like, get along that well. You know? I'm not going to be a math teacher.
You don't think that.
Huh?
When you meet Kyle, you don't think that.
You don't think that. No. You wouldn't think that. You would never think that. At the time, when he was in that position, you would think that, because he was really, like, he didn't talk, he didn't speak. Like, you were wondering if he was mute half the time. And then you're like, you would talk to him, and then you would be like, you would try to start up a conversation, but he would, like, solve the conversation in like 5 words, and then you would have nothing else to say, and he would have nothing to say, and he would move on. Like, it was, you had to be really good with people to get him to talk. So, luckily, he's progressed since then. But my whole point is, that's where most teachers are when they start teaching. So, yeah, you gotta you have to bear with them. You have to, like, be, pity them in a way. You kind of have to pity them a little bit. Because, yeah, a lot of teachers aren't taught how to be good with people, how to make their class interesting and exciting, how to keep people from falling asleep. You just gotta deal with it and be like, yeah, it's rough for both of us. It really is. So, yeah.
And I'll tell you, your teachers are looking forward to summer break too.
Yes. Oh, yeah. For sure.
They're looking forward to it as well.
Yeah. But anyways, that just kind of, I'm only saying that, Jerry, so that when you are in those classes, you can not only recognize your own position in that class as being absolutely bored, but also recognize the teacher and say, that teacher's also extremely bored. That's why they're teaching like this. Because they're not passionate about it. They're not passionate about teaching this. They might be passionate about the subject to a degree, but they've been teaching it so long, and they're forced to teach a certain curriculum. They're gonna be bored to death. You know what would really excite them? Like, hey, new information for once. But no, they're stuck teaching the same information over and over and over and over every year, right? There's nothing new about that. So it's hard for them to get excited. It's just as hard for them to like, yeah, they can stay awake because they're the ones doing the presentations and talking and stuff like that. But man, just kind of, the whole point here is just kind of see things from their perspective too, and understand they're in a tough spot. They're not enjoying it either. That helps to make us feel like, we're not the only ones suffering, and that we can at least relate to the teacher and be like, they want the school year to be over too. They're like, sweet, just 2 more months, and I can get out of here. They're thinking the same thing. So when you go to class, you can do your best to stay awake. Do your best to make it more lively for the teacher if you want. If you want to make it so you can stay awake easier, make the teacher stay awake. Raise your hand, ask questions, even if they're stupid.
Yeah.
Even if you already know the answer.
Come up with weird questions.
Yeah. Like a lot of times, like with my teachers, people like they would be like, they would go through a problem and then they would say, all right, anybody have any questions? And then every once in a while I'd raise my hand and I'd be like, yeah, I'm having trouble with like the meaning of life. Could you please explain? And they'd be like, yeah, okay.
42.
Yeah, 42. No answer. See me after class. I don't know either. And, or like, just random questions like, hey, what's your favorite thing to eat? And that will be like, we're teaching math. All right. Let's try to stay in subject. And even though they say that, and they might even be a little bit like, who's this kid think he is? It's so dumb, like, to ask that. It does make them a little bit more awake. And it makes you, most of all, more awake. Just participating in the class helps a lot. And it makes the class go by a lot easier, a lot faster, because you're no longer sitting there bored watching the time go by. You're actually participating. So if you can figure out how to get yourself to participate in the class, that would make a world of difference. It'll make you a whole lot less sleepy. Because then you're actually involved. Yeah, there was a class that I slept every single day in, believe it or not. Like, literally, maybe, like, a total of 12 days I didn't sleep in it. It's that bad. And I still passed. I passed with, like, a D. I'm like, dang, I passed? That's awesome. And it was pre-calc. And I did not participate in the class at all. I just fell asleep. It was It was just like a boring experience, and I just slept every time, right? Then I had other classes where I didn't like them, but at least I participated, and I felt like I enjoyed those classes far more. I got, and the teachers liked me a lot more, even though I didn't like the subject. It was a lot easier to take those classes, a lot more easy to go to the class excited because I was going to get to the class. And interacting with the class made me connect with the teacher and make me feel like I was more part of it. Now you're like, well, there's only 2 months left, so why do all of that? Why put in all that effort? Well, that will help you for your last stretch. Make your last stretch a lot easier on yourself. Make it worth something. Because in those last 2 months, I'm going to be straight with you. You're not going to learn a whole lot. It's just
probably not.
You're not.
Probably not.
In the last 2 months,
try to make it as fun as possible.
Yeah, just make it as fun as possible. It's going to be easy. It's going to be too easy, and that's why it's going to be so boring. So make it fun. That's what I did with my last couple of months. I made it fun. I got involved in class. I started being more silly. At one time, I got into a box and got shipped around to different classrooms, and then popped out of the box for people, and it was the weirdest. It was hilarious actually because people did not expect that from me. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I'll share that story another time. But yeah, be more, just have more joy. Try to go to school with the intention of having more fun, having more joy, and that will get you through those last 2 months a lot easier. I promise. So keep your eye open to opportunities to make it fun for yourself. Obviously, you don't want to be a disruption. You don't want people to you don't want the teacher to hate you. You don't want to disrupt the teaching environment. There are people who are learning, right? You don't want to be a jerk. So don't be, right? But you can have fun while being studious. You can have fun while being appropriate and non-disruptive. So yeah. That's my best advice. You can do it, man. You just, it's only 2 more months. And that's another thing too. It's like, it's just 2 months of this. That's like nothing. It's almost over. Just go through the motions, and try to make the best of it I can. It's just 2 more months. And you know what? Soon enough, it's going to be just 4 weeks. It's only 3 weeks. It's only 2 weeks. Oh, jeez. 2 weeks. Easy peasy.
And it's like, and then, but the thing is when you're done and you're out, I remember, man, I'll never forget that day when it was done.
Mm-hmm.
And I did forget the actual, whatever the day was like.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget the feeling of just being done.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah. There's like this
over.
Thrill. It's like,
it's like, whoa, like, what am I gonna do now? Like,
it's relaxed. It's like a relaxed thrill. It's like, I don't have to go back. I never have to go back again.
It's amazing.
I never have to go back.
Yep.
What? Awesome. I don't have to go back there.
You will love that so much when you get there. Oh my gosh, it's unlike anything I've ever. I can't describe it for you.
Mm-hmm.
What it's like. It was like when I was trying to tell a buddy of mine who his wife was going to have a baby, and it's like, I can't explain to you what that's like. The first moment you lay eyes on your own child, like like a whole new world opens up to you. It's so crazy, and it's going to be like that here. I can't describe it because you haven't experienced it yet. So like, I can't really relate it to you, but I tell you, it's amazing and it's wonderful. And it's like, I think like Ryan probably described it better than anything. It's like a relaxed thrill. Cause you're like, all this tension now goes away. It just melts away.
Mm-hmm.
But you're so excited about it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's also, it's like cool. A calm at the same time as it's like a high. It's weird.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And, but one thing to think about, though, I understand you're skipping school. You're doing some stuff to, you're just kind of avoiding being there as much as you possibly can. Okay, I understand. And I'm not going to call you out on that. But I will say this, just make sure you don't skip too much that you have to go to summer school.
Yeah, could you imagine?
I
That
had
would
some friends who
stink
did
so
that.
bad.
They just didn't go to school enough and they had too many excused absences or too many absences in general. And then they still walked across and graduated, but they had to go to school all summer.
Oh yeah, I had some friends that did that too.
I'm like,
Yeah, those
oh, that'd
poor
be so
souls.
frustrating. So just yeah, so try to avoid that. Just put in your time now.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
go. You don't
it's
want that.
okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Have a good time. Goof around in the hall, whatever.
yeah,
Don't be a troublemaker, but just have fun. Be goofy, whatever.
yeah,
You're on the home stretch, man. It's gonna be fun.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah, we wish you the best, man, and thanks for being with us. Hopefully that helps a little bit. But yeah. So thanks, Jerry. You're
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you.
And
I
yeah,
I haven't seen you post anything in a little bit, so
yeah, they're
hopefully you're
gone.
still here.
No, they're still here.
Oh,
I'm sure. They said
thank
physics was
you,
their
Cherry, and
was
thank
their
you for
best.
always bringing us stuff to talk about. You always,
Yeah.
man, you
Yeah, no, seriously. We owe you so much. We owe you
yeah.
so much. You keep our channel alive here. Um, yeah. So, yeah, let's move on to sparrows, eh?
All right, let's.
Let's get down to sparrows.
To defeat the Hun.
Really?
Oh wait,
That's racist. I'm just kidding.
what?
By the way, who do you think the Hun are?
Attila the Hun. They
You're
were
wrong.
against. They were against. They were the
Okay.
enemy of Mulan.
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think? Where do you think they came from? What nationality? What nationality were the Huns?
Were they Mongolian?
See, I knew you'd say that. Everybody thinks that.
Yeah, the
Everybody's
Mongolian
wrong.
barbecue. I always
Yeah.
think Mongolian barbecue.
Yeah, no, that's not it at all. The Huns were the Turks.
Oh, the Turks.
Yeah.
Istanbul to Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul to Constantinople. Wow, they were the Turks, huh?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that either. I found that out when I was in LA. I was with Rainey, and we were like, I did a little bit of research on like the actual what the actual history of like what Mulan is supposed to be. Magician Jester, you said Chinese. No, you're thinking the Han. Han is Chinese. Hun is, well, now there are Huns in China, but it's actually the Turks during that time. I always thought it was Mongolian. I always thought it was the Mongolians, but I looked it up and I'm like, wait, Turks? Seriously? Wait, Mulan actually even got the imagery wrong. Like, they didn't draw Turks, they drew Mongolians.
Yeah, right?
And so it's so confusing. Disney, you messed up. Disney got it wrong.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. But yeah. So, Sparrow is here. So let's go on to that one. Hey, Jono,
Yes.
what's up, Jono? Sparrows. It doesn't have a title, but it reads as
Yeah,
follows.
it's called Focus.
Oh, it does?
Focus.
Oh, Focus. For some reason, in the actual thing, it doesn't have a title, but we'll call it Focus. All right. It reads as follows. Sparrow is here. You know, if I was English, I would read that as Sparrow, which would be interesting. Anyways, Sparrow is here. I want to move away excitement and be able to focus on my studies. School is grueling while I'm waiting for something to come. Sparrow is gone. So it's along the same vein as the last subject we got from Cherry. So, yeah, you want to move away from the excitement and be able so that you can focus on your studies. That can be a difficult struggle. That's basically just like self-control, and that can be very difficult to master. And And, as you know, excitement, joy, entertainment, stuff like that, is all good stuff. It's all good stuff. But there has to be a healthy balance, right? Without the balance, you get nothing done, right? So you can't focus, just like you said. Sometimes you're really excited about something, and you're so excited about it, like you can't concentrate on anything else. Personally, I grew up with ADHD, so no, actually ADD, because mine is ADD, not ADHD. But ADD got taken out of the medical system. And they're like, that thing doesn't exist. It's all ADHD, and I can explain that a little bit later, why that happened. But so, anyways, I have personal experiences with this, and so I know this scenario in like very, very high detail, having experienced that thoroughly throughout high school, throughout middle school, throughout elementary, and even beyond those years. So even though I went backwards, whatever. Yeah, but anyways, with all that said, I look forward to covering this, but I'm gonna hand it over to Joe first so he can give you the better half of this speech that combined our efforts are gonna be.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment, Ryan, but we both know that's not true. It will be the equal half.
Don't you taunt me.
Sparrow, thank you for posting. And I totally understand. And I still deal with this sometimes. Like I know I've just got to get this stuff done. There's a set of tasks that I need to do. There's a set of tasks I want to do. And there's other stuff that I'd rather do. Right? Like,
yeah.
So it's amazing because, for instance, I've got my work for my inspections business that, I've got that has deadlines and has to go on. And then there's the stuff I want to do, which is work on all the Kickstarter product from the Criminal Idol Kickstarter. That's what I want to be doing. But then I'd also rather just sit down and watch a movie or something, like I'd rather just kick back and relax and not do anything, or go and hang out at the pool or something, right? There's indoor pools available.
Dude. Yes, please.
So one thing that I actually recently stumbled across that helped me so much, and it helps me with all this stuff, is that I found an app that has this thing called a Pomodoro timer or something like that. And what it does is basically, if I have a task that I have to do this stuff and it's gonna be hard for me to get through, right? I have a timer set for 25 minutes. And I set that timer for 25 minutes, and then I'm going to take a 5-minute break at least after 25 minutes. So I set a timer for 25 minutes. I'm going to do the work that is the hardest for me to do, the stuff that I don't want to do the most, right? 25 minutes at a time. And when I have that timer going, I know there's an end.
Yeah.
It's all psychological because I know I have to go until I finish, right? I know I have to continue going until I finish. But if I set a timer for 25 minutes, I know in 25 minutes, that segment of it is going to be over. And I don't have to think about it. I can take a break. I'm just like, I'm going to go as much. And then it turns into this thing where it's like, how much can I get done in this 25 minutes so I don't have to do more 25-minute segments, right? So then it becomes like a race, and I get a lot more done faster because I'm timing myself, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be done in this. Can I get done with all these in 25 minutes? I don't know. Maybe I can get to this point in 25 minutes. And so then it starts to be this little game that I'm playing in my head. And I'm like trying, and I'm working really hard, and I always get more accomplished when I set a timer. And so then because of that, ultimately I spend less time doing the thing that I don't want to do because I do it faster. And maybe that's something, just don't be rushing it. That's true. Yes. You don't want to rush it. You want to be thorough. You want to do it right. Yes, absolutely. But there's like this, like, when you're in a competition, you kind of awaken a little bit. And competition is always best when you compete against yourself. Like, I know in team sports and in other individual sports and everything, you're always competing against another person. But really, the best performances come when a player is just competing against themselves and they're trying to do better than they ever did before. Right? And it's the same here with trying to get stuff done. You want to focus on your studies, but man, you got this other stuff you want to think about too. Joseph says you can also work for an hour followed with a 30-minute break and repeat. Yes, absolutely. And especially if you have stuff that you want to have on your mind that's exciting, stuff you're looking forward to, you're waiting for something to come, you're excited about it, you can take that time, you can set up your own timer. You figure out how long works for you. 25 minutes was kind of the default on this app that I found. And so I found it worked good for me. On other things that I do, I set an hour timer with 15-minute breaks. Jehoshaphat says an hour followed with a 30-minute break. Absolutely. Sometimes, honestly, when it's really late and I'm working on inspections, I'll do 25 minutes and then I'll do 20 minutes of like napping. Like I'll work for 25 minutes and then I'll take a 20-minute nap and then I'll get up and I'll work for 25 minutes again, but yeah, you can switch back and forth and you can be like, okay, I'm going to work on this thing for this time period. And then I'm going to let my mind go to the exciting stuff. I'm going to look that stuff up. I'm going to do it. I'm going to set a timer for that too, and then I know that I've got that little mini vacation, but then when that's done, I'm going to get back to work but that's got an end time too. So you've got an end to look forward to. I recently I was reading a book while I was listening to a book because all the books I do now are Audible. And there's a book called Traction by Gino Wickman. It's basically just a business structuring book, right? And he was talking about the importance of the short-term goal. And there was this story about people who are picking vegetables in a field, like and they had all this field to go through and pick the whole thing, right? And so they would take a stick and they would chuck it out into the field somewhere and just be like, and they'd see, okay, that's where the stick ended up. And be like, that's the line that we're picking to. And so what that did was it made them way more productive because they weren't going to pick the whole field. They were just going to pick to the stick. They were going to take a break, right? And it's the same situation here. You set a timer, you only go until the end of the timer, and then you take a break. I found that to be so, so helpful. So anyway, I've gone on and on about that. And yeah, one other thing that I would say is important is remember why you're studying. Think about that for a little bit. Why am I doing this? Why am I even doing this? Well, it's so I can get, this degree finished or this diploma finished or whatever, so I can move on to this, or so I can do this with my life and stuff like that. So it's like, remember why you're going through all of this pain and torment of studying. So anyway, I'm going to hand it over to Ryan because I think actually, after hearing myself talk there for the last 10 minutes or so, I think Ryan's going to have something better.
I don't know about that.
That's what I
I
think.
don't know about that, but
I'm quite pretty sure.
you're quite pretty sure. I don't know. I feel like you do a great job at focusing on things and getting things done, but we can talk about it. So, I grew up until fifth grade. So once I got into fifth grade, the teachers and my parent, I say parent because it's just my mom, and yeah, just like adults in general were like, wow, there's something wrong with this kid. There was. Um, and the teachers were like, he's having a really hard time in class. He's just not putting himself, like, he's not doing stuff. Sometimes he just kind of goes upside down in the desk and like, what's he doing upside down in his desk? Like, that's so weird. He's just like out there. He's totally not with us. So, they actually did like a bunch of tests on me. And they found out a couple of different things. One thing that they found out was that I was right-brained instead of left-brained. That's basically the way that you think, the way that your mind is oriented. I'm very visually and art kind of oriented. I think about things differently than left-brained people tend to. If you were to watch me write letters, you'd be like, why are you writing letters so weird? Like, that's a backwards of every, like, half of, like, maybe a quarter to a half of my letters I write backwards. It's just weird. Like, I do weird things. And that's because I'm right-brained instead of left-brained. And it causes issues with learning in school. So I was not able to learn in the normal confines of class very well because my brain doesn't learn as well in those type of settings. My brain learns better in different settings than the classroom. My brain learns best when it's something I am interested in. You think that's pretty similar to everybody, but it's not quite to the same degree. So anyways, and then in addition to that, they found out that I was ADD, not ADHD. So ADD and ADHD are different because ADD is attention deficit disorder. ADHD is attention deficit hyper disorder. And what they eventually found out as the doctors, and what I found out before the doctors said anything, surprisingly, before they removed it, is that the only difference between ADD and ADHD is your personality type. So if you're an outgoing person, you'll appear more hyper. If you're an introverted or reserved type person like I am, you're not hyper. Because everything goes on in your brain and not out in the open. So they don't think that you're hyper, so you're just ADD instead of ADHD. It's just a personality type. So, anyways, going through school like that, basically what they gave me was Ritalin. They sent me to the doctors, they got me Ritalin. Ritalin is a depressant or a suppressant. It basically it blocks off the area that receives the chemical to give you excitement. So I would come home from school, and every once in a while, my mom would be like, "Are you okay?" Because and I'd be like, "Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Like, I'm fine," But I just was not excited about anything, and because I couldn't get excited, it allowed me to focus on everything else a whole lot easier. So it was a medicine that was created to solve the exact problem that you're currently dealing with. Though eventually throughout the years, I took it for several years. And it was interesting because I had to go to the doctors every once in a while, and they would like draw my blood and make sure everything was okay with me and that kind of stuff. Eventually I stopped. I worked myself off of it because I didn't want to be taking Ritalin for the rest of my life. I felt like if there's something in my brain, I should be able to control it rather than having to rely on a medication. Because the medication only got stronger and stronger as time went on. They kept on, like, little by little increasing my dosage. They started out with these, like, super, super tiny, like, I can't even show you, like, they were, like, that small. and then they got bigger, and then by the time I was done, they were like this big, and that's still not very big, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be taking these for the rest of my life. Like, so my mom just let me stop, and I was like, okay. So in that time, basically what we would do when I wasn't on the medication was a couple of different tricks. One thing was a lot of what Joe was talking about. It's a action and reward system. So one thing that we would do that worked really well for me, is I would take like desserts, usually like I don't know, like a candy bar, or some M&Ms, or any kind of chocolate treat or whatever, anything you can just like enjoy. And I would set it down on the table in front of me, in front of my homework, and then I would start doing my homework, right? And I knew once I got to halfway done with my homework, I could take half of that treat and eat it. Then I could finish the rest of my homework and eat the treat, the rest of it. And that really helped me a lot. Another thing that we would do is, instead of the treat thing, I would work on my homework, and after like 20 minutes or whatever, or after I got a certain length done, my mom would be like, all right, now get up and run around the house. And I would literally go outside and run around the house, do 2 laps around the house, work off my physical energy, and work off my, mental energy, get my brain moving again. Because if you just sit there for a really long time, your brain your brain isn't as loose, as if you just work out. So my mom would just be like, yeah, run around the house 2 times and then come back in. And then I would. And it was like freedom. It was like, yes, I'm not working on the thing, and I'm just running. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm running. I shouldn't be running. I should be walking, taking my time. But I wanted to run. It was nice. This is what my mom told me to do. And I felt like that was right. So I ran around the house 2 times. I'd come back in, and then I would get more work done. And then after a while, she'd be like, all right, now run around the house again. And I would do it. And then I'd come back in, and I would work on my homework and then finish it. And it sounds weird and ridiculous, but it honestly helped a ton. So Joe was talking about like separating, and Joseph is also talking about this. He's been saying this as well. Separating out and kind of splicing in time of play in between the two. And it doesn't. And I would suggest make it short, whatever it is. If you're gonna be playing, make it short. One thing that I do from time to time is I'll work for like half an hour, and then I'll play like 2 rounds of a game that take me like 10 minutes, and then I'll go back to work. Or, like I said, I'll work for a while, and then I'll get something to eat, and I'll come back and work again. So that stuff it really does work. It works. It helps a lot. And working myself off of Ritalin was basically like, I have to prove to myself that I am able to control myself, right? And so it made me focus on and get excited about actually working on controlling myself, on actually working on work to control myself, to prove that I could do it, right? To prove that I didn't need the drug. And so that was kind of part of it for me as well. So it is a big mental battle. How do you stop yourself from getting excited without something like that, without like a drug or whatever? There's a couple different ways. One way is to get out of your system, and another way is to get out of your system by taking action, but only for a snip at a time, and then going back to work. And the other way is self-control, which is being able to control the way that your mind thinks and what it thinks about. And that's a process that you obtain over time. Self-control is learned by self-control, controlling yourself. So, we've talked many times on the stream about, get yourself a lunch, but don't eat all of it. Or just go like, hey, I'm going to go without lunch today. And then for like 6 hours, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. I got to eat a whale. I'm just like super hungry. And you deal with it. And you're like, I'm doing this because I want to prove to myself I've got self-control. And you do that. Or if it's not food, it can be anything. It could be video games. It could be reading if you enjoy reading. It could be the TV. It could be playing music. It could be listening to music. I think a lot of people, they walk around with headphones on, or they're constantly listening to music, which is great. I've got nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with music. I'm a musician, right? But that's a form of entertainment that only fills the mind with a lot of nothingness sometimes. A lot of times we go around listening to music all day long. What are we doing? What are we programming into our brain when we could be exploring the silence? I can tell you I've learned and gained much more in the silence than I ever have in the loud atmosphere of music. Music is a beautiful thing, and I think you need a balance of everything, right? But silence is important. So spend time in the silence. And yeah, silence can get you more excited. It can get you more excited. It really can. But it also teaches self-control. So that's another thing. But I really don't have much to say beyond that. My life example given to you was kind of just an extension of Joe's. That if you are able to control yourself by, segmenting yourself with work and play, in short periods of time, 20 minutes of work, 10 minutes of play, 20 minutes of work, 10 minutes of play, whatever you want to do, or, an hour of work and like half an hour of play, whatever, right? It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you, whatever you find works for you. For me, like I said, one thing that worked really well was, all right, work for this long, get a treat. All right, work for this long, finish the treat. Mm-hmm. And it's so simple, and it's like, wow, what are you, a dog? And honestly, yes, we're all animals. We're all animals. Like, we are physically animals, and our brains are too. Although we have, obviously, a lot more intellectually and in wisdom and in ability to choose and all sorts of different stuff over most animals, if not all the animals. But we are still, by nature, animals. We have those desires. We have those instincts. We have those. We can train ourselves by giving ourselves rewards. So create for yourself a reward system, whether it be play or food or any other type of enjoyment, or whatever you're excited about. You can delve into it. Allow yourself to delve into that excitement, but only for a limited time before you go back to work. That'll keep your mind focused more on the work when you get back to work. Not for the first couple of seconds, but once you get into it, your brain will go like, all right, we're work mode now. And it will work a lot harder now that you've given it that reward, and it knows there's another reward coming. Does that make sense? Our brains are wired that way. We are literally, like, physically wired that way because that's just natural animal instinct. So hopefully that helps. That's kind of like a scientific stab at it. But yeah, use that to your advantage. Anyways, I'm going to give it back over to Joe in case he has anything he wants to add to it.
I do, just one thing, and I would just highlight the importance of doing something physically. Brian was talking about going and running around the house, mm-hmm. and how helpful that can be. Now, rewards are wonderful. Rewards, and they work for sure. But especially if you're sitting and studying, you're gonna, like, I would certainly give yourself a reward, and then also do something that moves your body. Just kind of gets your blood flowing a little bit again, and just kind of, because what you're going to find is when your blood starts to pump more and everything, you start to, you wake up a little bit more and you're more invigorated. More blood's going to your brain, you just have a better ability to, get back down to it when you get back to it. And what's amazing about that is eventually you find yourself starting to get in decent shape if you do that enough.
Yep.
Like, it's kind of cool. But yeah, so if you can't go run around a house because it's really snowy out and you don't want to go outside, You can do some jumping jacks. You can do some push-ups. You can do some sit-ups.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah, that's what I
something
would do actually
like
when we
that.
couldn't run around. My mom would be like, "All right, get up and do some jumping jacks." I'd be like, "All right, I
Hmm.
don't really want to," and I would do it, and I'd be like, "This is fun. It's a lot better than doing homework."
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm doing this. It feels stupid, but it worked.
it does. You can do Lego Movie jumping jacks. Those are always fun. They're the ones where you
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. I kind of fell into push-ups. It's amazing what you can do. You start doing enough push-ups. And yesterday, yesterday I did more than I'd ever done. Now I didn't do them all continuously. I did like 30 at a time.
Hmm.
And then I was going down to like less than 30, 20, 10. But I think I ended up doing yesterday in the span of like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I had done like 230 some push-ups, which is ridiculous.
Hmm. That's a lot. 230 some.
Yeah,
Dang.
it's
Yeah, I've
ridiculous.
never even come close to that number. Wow.
Well, it wasn't all at once. It was like go and then do some other stuff, go and do some other stuff. It
I
was
think
kind
the
of worked
most I've ever
into the
done in a
process.
day was at most 50, 60 maybe. But
Mhm.
I feel like that's even stretching it.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
Oh, Magician Jester says, don't forget the legs. Yes, don't forget the legs. You can do some squats, you can do lunges, you can do stuff. Yeah, if you're looking for exercises, you can just get on YouTube. There's all kinds of people that put stuff out there of exercises with no equipment. I always try to look for stuff with no equipment because I don't want to deal with equipment. like,
I like that
but,
suggestion, Nikhil. It's something you have to learn though. Tai Chi. I don't
mhm,
know how to. You'd have to YouTube it and be like, how do you do Tai Chi? What are the stances? What are the movements? But that is really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I've
Yeah.
thought about Tai Chi. That looks like it would be fun.
Yeah.
Anytime I
And
see people doing it.
hmm yeah, it's like doing art with the body in a way. It's very beautiful. Um, Patterns and things like that. Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool.
Hmm. It probably helps you with control,
Hmm.
like control and precision
Oh
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that. There's a
Yeah, and
lot of things
patience
in
too.
Tai Chi that probably works. Yeah.
Because it's not something that goes quick, and it's not something you speed up. It's timed. Like you're supposed to make movements at certain speeds. You're
Hmm.
not supposed to go super fast, so it kind of forces this calm. It
Hmm.
forces you to take your time, which is seriously something we need in America.
Yeah.
People need to figure out how to like do that.
A little bit of patience.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
What do you mean I can't nuke this and I can't throw it in the
I
microwave?
can't microwave this. I don't want it. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, but anyway, Sparrow, hopefully some of that's helpful. I wonder will Static ever use Static P Plus again?
Yeah, I was
I don't
responding to
know.
that. I said, it's likely. There's a possibility that I will. I've got some plans, but we'll find out.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, Cohagen. Hey, how's it going, man? Um, yeah. So it looks like we've kind of run to the end of the amount of people that we had that were here that had comments. I know Little Miss right now is posting, but she's currently, I think, like in the middle of writing it. So if she finishes soon, that'd be awesome. Wink, wink. Um, yeah, because at the moment, I don't know. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to like us to talk about for the next couple of minutes? I think that'd be awesome. Again, thanks Sparrow for the question, and
Hmm.
yeah, Focus is a really interesting thing. I'll tell you what. It's just something you get better at by doing. But it especially helps a lot when you can pace yourself with other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our minds,
cool.
if you think about us again as in terms of being animals, what animal is made to like literally sit there and think about mathematical problems for like 15 minutes straight even? Like, you look at the other animals out there in the wild, they rarely do anything for like the same thing for like a really long time unless it's eating. Like, nothing else. Like, no animal does anything for an extended period of time except for eating. So, keep that in mind. We have to change it up. We have to go back and forth sometimes.
Yeah.
Cohagen, right now the issue is our producer is currently unavailable, so we kind of had to throw this together real quick, and so we are, a low production today. Next Wednesday we should be back in style. So, sorry about this. But yeah, happens.
Magician wants to talk about my hat.
What hat?
No, it is a beanie. I think I always Princess calls it my hair, my green hair.
Yes.
It's interesting because a lot of times I wear it like this, so that way my ears can be exposed to the world. But lately, because it's so cold, I've been tucking it down over my ears.
Give you that extra layer of warmth.
But when I do this show, I got headphones over my ears. It's like having earmuffs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They're nice headphones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Cohagen. That's really nice of you to say. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I remember when Ryan and the Beta Cat were doing this show, and I thought it was such a great idea. I didn't get to watch it very often, but when I did, I really enjoyed seeing it. And I never saw a live stream either. I always just saw them after the fact. I never had a chance to get on the live stream.
Yeah.
But it was a great show, and I loved being here. And then when Derek had other stuff going on and he wasn't going to be able to do it anymore, and he was going to be stopping, I talked to Ryan. I'm like, hey man, we gotta like keep this going somehow, because this, I don't know, it's too cool of a show to
definitely
let go away.
Akil wants you to poke eye holes into your hat so that you can have a vigilante mask.
Ooh, I should do that. I can think of this hat doesn't go down very far though.
Oh yeah.
So like, but I have other hats. That would go down farther that I could totally do that with. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Princess is right. Magician Jester said, let's talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And Princess said, start them on that, and we'll be here for a while.
Oh my gosh.
That is true. But you did say also, Magician Jester, that you want to be isekai'd, meaning you want to be transported into a different world all by yourself and then have to figure out how to live in it. I think that's very awesome, and that's a great adventurous spirit you have. Carefree. I think that's awesome. So keep up that attitude. But remember, this world is like that too. You never, like, you can go anywhere. Like, literally, you can just, like, go anywhere. No, you want to die? Oh, jeez. Wow, that's not bad either. I mean, that's like, right? It's like you get to go to heaven. That's like being isekai'd, right? You actually go to a different world. There's different physics and reality. There's actually no physics. And then what? Or is there? You get thrown into a place that's not your own. That's for sure. So dying is basically just like being isekai'd. I like that way of thinking about it. It's great. Good idea, Magician Gesture. Just don't die on purpose. You're here for a reason.
That's right.
This part's supposed to play out, and it plays a very important role in not only your life but many others. So
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. Hey, Senna. How's it going? More squishy owls every time you come back. Yeah.
Sparrow, what was the audio from Akil's post?
I don't know if Sparrow wants to talk about that. That's why he left last time. Are you trying to get him to leave again? Like, I'm so happy he's here.
Oh.
Don't get
Well, he
Akil to
said he
leave.
heard it.
Yeah, I know.
I heard the audio from his post.
I am
like,
curious.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like, he didn't say what it was, and I was like, way to like just leave us on a cliff.
Hanging there. Yeah, right.
Yeah. But hey, you know, Akil, if you actually left and you missed what we said about you, you should go back. You did you said it. I re-uploaded it. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, if you missed what we said when you left, you should go back and listen to it because we were talking to you even though you were gone.
Oh yeah, it's an MP3 now. Akil's Rambling MP3.
MP3, it makes it so much easier.
You don't have to transcript it. We can listen to it now.
That makes it. Makes it.
Should we listen to it now and talk about it?
Well, Trias Espas.
It's not in English, so.
I guess you finally heard me.
No, that's not true. The opening statement isn't. It is. The opening. The first word is English, and then he says something that's not English, and then he continues. For sure.
Okay, I gotcha.
Well, Trias Espas.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's actually, your voice is beautiful. That's my first comment. I didn't listen to all of it. I mean, we do have the time, but it's kind of weird though, because usually we read from the text so that we can get everybody else to hear it. In this scenario, we would be like, hey, everybody go to our forums and download it and play the MP3 so that you know what we're going to be talking about. And then we like wait for everybody to do that. You know, like, I don't know if that would flow very well. Could we do that next time? I can transcribe it for next time. Princess, I think that would be a really, really great idea. I think that would be the best idea. And you said, Akil, that your head is killing me, or your head is killing you. Your head isn't killing me. All right. Well, then I hope that you can ease that pain, get some rest, close your eyes, and not while you're driving though, and get that all fixed up. We won't keep you if you gotta go. So.
Ooh, you know what? This is wow. You know, this is another way people can post. Sparrow just said we can hear it in the stream.
Oh, true. That's right. Yeah, they can hear it from my side because I have the. I could actually do that. Yeah, that would be interesting. I forgot everybody could hear it when I did that.
We'd figure out a way. Like, actually, Jesse could probably figure out a way when we actually have our producer. You know, like if people want to just say
they could say it
topic rather than type it, they could just say it, and then we can play it.
Yeah, I'm not against that.
That would be a kind of a cool way to do things, because we always talked about, you know, making this a call-in show as well, where we had a phone number where people could call and talk and all that kind of stuff. Well, we need voice chat. Yes.
Yeah.
And Princess, you are right. For those who are deaf, we should still make a transcription version. Yes.
Sure.
You're absolutely right.
But at the same time, that doesn't change this situation, because people who are deaf can't hear us live. And that's so if they're reading something that's transcribed, they don't see the forum topic. We read it out loud, so it's transcribing us either way. And in this case, it would be the transcriber, the Google's whatever, is listening into the audio that's coming in through my through the recorded messages that people leave us. It's not a bad idea. I actually really like it. It's actually a pretty cool idea. I didn't think about it, but that's actually really cool, Akil, that you just invented this for us. So thank you.
Yes. Akil, you're the best.
Around. Nothing's ever going to take you down.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the song says. I wonder...
that's from the Karate Kid, isn't it?
Is it?
Yes, that's from the original Karate Kid.
Karate Kid. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure that out. You guys, because you guys would love to hear some of your guys' voices.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Or maybe fake voices. You could call in with like a voice that's not your own. Or, sorry, record. Maybe after the stream, volunteers can sub the whole stream. Yeah. That would take some time, but yeah.
It would. Somebody would do it pretty
Akil the
fast.
Innovator, yes.
Don't worry, Random
Wednesday
Wednesday might get a power up soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Man, oh man. That'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
We can move forward. That's the whole point of what we want to do with everything, is move forward with everything.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We weren't volunteering you, Princess.
Oh yeah, no. Little Miss says, "Okay, I'm so sorry, but I'm trying to verify my email and the button isn't working, and I'm just so sorry. I keep bothering you guys."
And we don't have Jesse here tonight.
Jesse's not here to fix that.
Man, we'll have to make sure he gets the message.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if Jesse was here, he'd be able to just fix you up real quick.
Little Miss, do you have it written already? Because if you do, yeah, you could email us. You can email dww@bss.studio. Sorry, dww@bss.studio. Like this. Oh, yeah. So that'll speed up the process, at least for today. We'll make sure you can get registered. By next time, we'll have to remember to talk to Jesse about that tomorrow. See what's going on there. But yeah, if you've got it written out, that'd be awesome to just send it there instead. Cause yeah, we're ready for you. But yeah. No, I really like the idea of being able to have other people on here, especially their voices. That's cool. That's really cool. And it's really the setup is really simple. Because Jesse literally has the same setup I'm using right now. So if he just plays the audio, it'll play for everybody, including, well, everybody on the stream. We would have to play it for ourselves still to hear it. But yeah. Akil says, by the way, if you're interested in ways to contact BSS, there are several links in the description for ease of access. Thank you, Akil. That is absolutely true. Yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions? Off topic, on topic, of nothingness? I guess we don't really have a topic.
We got it.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Never mind. No one say anything. Shut up.
We've got Little Miss Fancies.
Don't you say a word. All right. Let's go.
My screen is going to get bright in here. Do you want me to read it, or you want it?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Is this Conversations Are Hard?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Okay. This one is from Little Miss, and it reads as follows. Oh, it has a big heart at the end. Thank you for that. That's cute. Okay. I've said this a couple of times during the stream, but I have a hard time talking to people. When I'm talking to people, I'll tell them something and then think to myself, I could have rephrased that better. Then I excuse myself and rephrase my words. Sometimes I'll say something during a conversation, then late at night, I'll think to myself, I could have said that in a different way. Or, I shouldn't have said that at all. I'm always worried about how people interpret my words. I don't mean to offend or to upset anyone, so I try to pick my words carefully. Still, I always have a hard time expressing what I want to say. I'm getting better at talking. Actually, the whole reason I started to communicate with chat was me accidentally typing something, then me being me, just not wanting to ditch and make things awkward. I stayed. So I tuned in every Wednesday and talked with you guys. It's relieving to talk about my dumb worries, and I've been gaining a bit of confidence in what I say, and coming to the conclusion, well, if I mess up, I can just apologize. Nothing to worry about. But talking with you all really helps me. Thank you for listening. Heart. Thank you so much, Little Miss. You are wonderful, and ever since you joined, it's been a pleasure to have you, and I've been excited. I think I've told you before, I really like your name, Little Miss Fancy. I think it's just, it's a great name. It's cute. It's perfect. So, yeah. It's interesting finding the right words to say, and just being good at conversations in general. Different people, interacting with different people have different ways of talking or different understandings or different levels of security issues, different levels of like ease of being able to hurt them. There are all sorts of different things you have to watch out for in conversations. So if you're really worried about like hurting people, yeah, it can be really difficult. And I grew up definitely experiencing that myself, always being worried about making sure nobody misunderstands me because I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't want anybody to get hurt, so I have to make sure I say the right things. I grew up being pretty worried about that myself. I think probably to a lesser degree than you are, but still having experienced that in many cases. So anyhow, I'm actually interested to see what Joe has to say, because I know Joe's also been someone to worry about those type of things. He's also been someone who's worried about what other people think and, that sort of thing. And also went through a phase where he didn't care if they got hurt or not, because he wanted to hurt everybody. So
yeah, I went through a phase where that was my intent.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what Joe's words will be here. So yeah, go for it, Joe.
Yeah. So Little Miss Fancy, just so you know, I copied and pasted this post on the website there in the questions and topics from the live stream. So, so now
so you don't have to do that.
Immortalized on BSS.studio.
Oh no! Until it goes down and breaks again, and we have to recreate the site. No.
That's right. But yes, but we will get Jesse to fix you up and make sure you can get on there. So we'll figure that out as well. So thank you for posting, and thanks for contacting us. Thanks for being here with us. I've seen your name pop up in the chat a bunch, and you always have nice things to say. So
Absolutely.
So I understand the feeling of being self-conscious about what you're saying, but you can trust me on this, that you're
doing a great job.
Totally, yeah. You're doing a great job. You're not offending anybody. You're not offending me, and I'm the one that matters most.
That's true. That's true. The world does revolve around Joe, and anybody who thinks otherwise is wrong. Have you seen the sun? Yeah, that's revolving around Joe too. It just is an illusion to make you think that Joe's not the center of the universe, but he really is.
Right, yes. No.
Don't even try to question this with logic.
No, Little Miss, you're awesome. And I totally feel where you're at, because I was there. And I still am there from time, a lot of times. I still second guess myself a lot. Mm-hmm. And not as much what I'm going to say, but what I'm going to do more than anything. And especially now, I just kind of moved into a different phase.
Thanks,
you guys. Now I'm in martial arts with my kids, right? So we're doing martial arts classes, and we're actually training to be instructors now. So I'm sure those of you who have been around, you've heard me talk about this. But today, we're working with the Tiny Tigers, right? So my kids grew up as Tiny Tigers. Those are the kids that are like from 3 years old to like 6,
Mm-hmm.
or 3, kind of in there, in that realm. And so they're all the little kids, and I always have so much trouble thinking, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Is it wrong for me to just pick this kid up and put him back on his star on the mat? Because there's stars on the mat. You stand on, they're spaced out, so you don't punch or kick each other when you're doing stuff, right? So you each get a star when you go onto the mat. And the little kids, they're just like all over the place, or they're like laying down, or they'll get up and they, walk over someplace. And sometimes you're like, can you get back on your star? Get back on your star. Get back on your star. It's okay, And then this one kid, this little dude, I picked him up and I stood him up on his star. And I'm like, I don't know if that was the right thing to do or not, but I've met his dad before, so we know each other. But those moments, I struggle trying to think of what's appropriate for me to do. All these parents are watching, and I'm like, if I do the wrong thing, am I gonna offend a parent somewhere? Like all this stuff. If I take this kid's hand and help them make a fist the proper way, is that gonna be a problem? Because some people are kinesthetic learners. Like they actually have to be moved into the position in order to remember it.
Oh yeah.
Right? There's auditory learners, there's visual learners, and there's kinesthetic learners. If you're an auditory learner, you learn by hearing. If you're visual, you learn by seeing. And if you're kinesthetic, you learn by the actual motion. And for a kid who's a kinesthetic learner, you have to actually one of the books, I would encourage you to get a book, Little Miss Fancy. It's called How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People by Les Giblin. In there's a chapter about conversation. Smooth and everything. If people would just open their mouth and let their tongues wag. Like just say whatever. Just say stuff. Open your mouth and say whatever. We're worried about offending people. We're worried about, doing or saying something wrong. There's always that concern. But most of the time, if your heart's in the right place, you don't have a problem. It's like me working with these little kids. If my heart's in the right place, most of the things that I would even possibly conceive of doing with these kids in the martial arts class would just be fine. It'd just be me teaching a class or helping to instruct a class, right? And it's the same in conversation. If your heart's in the right place and you have genuine goodwill for the person that you're talking to, you can pretty much say whatever comes to your mind and it's going to be okay and inoffensive. Now, stuff gets misinterpreted all the time. And so that's when it takes having your heart in the right place, because then you can apologize sincerely and you'd be like, that's not what I meant at all. I'm so sorry for it coming across that way. That's not how I meant it to come across at all. I was trying to communicate this, and and so that at that point you can backpedal a lot easier and you can get back on the right track. But it takes just fostering that goodwill in your heart for other people. As long as you do that, you can just probably pull the brakes off your tongue or your fingers when you're typing, whatever, and just say whatever. You're going to have awkward moments. You're going to feel weird. But yeah. And here's another thing. If you're dealing with other people, Ryan has said this before. I've said stuff to this effect before. But more important than people being impressed with you and the words you say and, coming across like that is for them to feel like they impressed you. So like, it's better to be impressed and interested in another person than for you to try and figure out how to make them impressed with you, if that makes sense. So how do you do that? We ask questions. You ask questions and you say, oh, really? Wow. And you respond to their answers. And you really listen to them. When you figure out the power of listening to other people and just saying little dumb sounding responses like, really? Wow. Why is that? How'd you come to that conclusion? This little responses that draw them out, you will be the greatest conversationalist ever. And people will think that about you. They'll think, wow, you are a great conversationalist. And all you did was say, oh, really? Why is that 10 times? You know, because you got them talking. And in a conversation, if somebody feels like they got to talk, they feel like it was a great conversation. That's why on Don't Worry Wednesday, it's always a great conversation for me because I get to talk a bunch.
And everyone else doesn't. It's great. Well, the world does, revolve around you, so it only makes sense.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, well, yeah. We're gonna stick on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. So anyway, I would. Cohagen, yes, my teacher talked about this. He likes to say we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Yes, that's absolutely true.
Your teacher does all the talking in the class, doesn't he? We're all hypocrites. Yes. Don't worry about it.
We are. That's for sure. That's for sure. So,
Cohagen, yeah. He's the teacher. He's supposed to. So. Or yeah. That's so funny though.
Yeah. So, Little Miss, I know how you feel, and it'll take some time. You're gonna screw up along the way a bunch of times as you learn to figure this out. But you start somewhere, and a lot of it, honestly, has to do with what's in your heart. Do you have genuine goodwill for this person? That will go the farthest. Mm-hmm. And whatever you say is going to come across, they're going to feel your heart if that's what you have in there. So from the sounds of things, from what I know of you and what you've said and in the chat and everything, it sounds to me like you have that goodwill in your heart. You're deep down genuinely a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you just let that shine, you're gonna do great. So anyway, that's what I got so far. Ryan, I'll turn it to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. Yeah, you took a lot of the great stuff, so you're stuck with the very little left. No, I'm just kidding. But no, you really said a lot of really important things, and I want to continue. Like, I've got life examples about those things, so I'll share those in a second. But first, Little Miss, you said this. Oh my goodness! When I first started to come every stream, I used to go silent when we went over other people's topics because I felt bad about interrupting you all and ruining the mood. You continued on, like when people talked about depression or death or really sad topics, I felt bad talking because I didn't want people to think I cared less or just, yeah. And you know how to, let me tell you something that I learned that solves this problem. Because again, your heart is in the right place, right? You don't want to disrupt anything. You also, on top of that, don't want to look like you don't care. You know, even though you might have something to say and it's funny, and you're like, I do want to say this, but at the same time, I don't want to say this because that will ruin the mood. Things like that. Here's my solution. Just be verbal with your concern. Because the more time you spend trying to figure out how to say something and not hurt somebody, the less time you spend helping somebody or making someone feel good. If you just literally came out with your concern first, then it wouldn't matter. So if you talk to somebody and you're like, hey, I'm having trouble figuring out the right way to say this because I want to make sure you don't think I'm trying to insult you, because what I'm trying to do is praise you, but I don't know how to say it. So just bear with me for a second. and then you say it. Or, hey, I don't want to sound like I don't care because I actually really care a lot. I just thought it'd be funny to add this comment. Or, hey, I don't want to interrupt what you're doing because you guys are having an amazing conversation. I really like what you're saying. I just want to add this little tidbit in here of my own experience. Saying out loud what your concern is doesn't hurt anybody. In fact, what it does is it just goes, oh, okay, so this person just doesn't want to hurt me with whatever they say. All right, that's fine. Or, okay, this person's concerned about, interrupting. Okay, but now we won't think that of them because they literally just said that that's not what they're trying to do. So if you come out with your concern, then you don't have to think so hard about how to say what you're trying to say without saying what your concern is. Now, I can understand sometimes you don't want to put your concern out there because some people are really fragile about certain things. You're like, hey, I don't want to bring this subject up because I know you're really sensitive. Saying something like that is not a good idea, right? Because calling people sensitive it does more harm than good. So yeah, you do have to watch out for things like that, right? But if you're generally just like, hey, I'm trying to be like, yeah, I'm trying to help you, or I'm trying to be the best person possible, or whatever, you're just letting people know where your heart is at. You've solved the entire problem of trying to figure out how you want to say something. Because now you can just say it as you want to say it. Now, continuing on, Joe was talking about, it's funny because he made two comments and they sounded like they contradict each other. The first thing he said was, just let your tongue wag, It's okay to just talk. And then if someone takes you wrong, just confirm like, hey, oh, that's not what I meant. I'm so sorry. So the first thing he said was just talk. It's okay. Just talk. It's important. You have things that are going on your mind that you want to say out loud. Just say them. It would solve so many more problems. And then the second thing he said was, a great conversationalist says nothing at all, or says very little, right? And it sounds like those two things contradict each other. And so I'm going to go through an example in my life. There are times to listen, right? There are times to say little, and there are times when you need to talk, right? When I was in high school, I had very few people like me. I was so worried about whether people liked me or not that I wouldn't let anybody find out who I was so that they couldn't like me. I was so worried that I didn't interact with anybody because I thought everyone hated me. I literally was like so worried that no one would like me that I just didn't talk to anybody. So I didn't have any friends, and I would complain like to myself like, yeah, I don't have any friends in real life. No one cares about me. Like I have a few friends, but that's it. And then I didn't even come to the conclusion like, yeah, it's because you literally don't talk to anybody because you're too afraid to. That was the position I was in, right? When I was in high school, I started playing some video games online, and I found out a bunch of people really liked me. And I learned that the difference was that I could actually talk online. I actually said things out loud. Although it was just in chat, I was typing it out, just like you are now. I found out that because I was actually talking, people got to know me, and people liked me. So I went to school, and I forced myself to start talking. I forced myself. And the way I did it was like, I had this character online. His name was Black Static. Everyone loved Black Static. And I was like, I want to be Black Static. Black Static's my hero. That's who I want to be in real life. Except for I actually am them. It's just only online. So in real life, I went to school. And I was like, I'm going to be Black Static. And it was just one random weekday. I went to school and I was like, that's right. I'm going to start talking out loud in public. And so I went to school, and as soon as I had a thought, like something funny to say, or something I wanted to add to a conversation, I would be like, wait a minute. No, I don't want to do that because I don't want anybody to look at me. I don't want anybody to think I'm weird, or I don't want anybody to... No, I wanted people to think I'm weird. That's not true. But I didn't want people to think it bad of me, right? And then I would think a next thought. I would be like, yeah, but Black Static would do it. Black Static wouldn't care. Black Static just makes friends in spite of like saying crazy things. Like he says weird things all the time, and it's awesome. I'm going to say it. And then I said it. And it was like delayed, right? By like an entire 2 seconds or something. And everybody in the class was like shocked. And then like just started laughing so hard because who, like Ryan said that, you know, and they thought it was hilarious. And I made so many more friends not being worried by what I sound like to other people than when I was worried about what I sounded like to other people. Simply because I actually put myself out there to become friends with. Because until I started to put myself out there for other people to, like, for me to interact with other people, until I started interacting with people, I couldn't become friends with them. But because I was so worried before that, I never interacted with anybody, and I couldn't make friends. So that made me worry even more. Made me worry even more that I couldn't make friends, that people thought ill of me, right? So I needed to stop thinking about what people thought of me in that regard. I needed to just say what I wanted to say, right? And then I learned down the line that there was a couple things I naturally did right, which was good. When people talk, listen, right? I don't have to be the one that's saying stuff all the time. I can be the one that starts a conversation, but then listen. And the thing that I learned was the most effective was just complimenting people. Listening what they had to say, and at the end of whatever they said, compliment them about something about that, what they just said. It made such a huge impact on their lives, and it made them want to be around me. Why? Because that made them feel good. It made them feel good inside, and everybody wants to feel good. And it also made them feel like they could see themselves in a better light. Because a lot of people think about themselves in a bad way. A lot of people are programmed in our world to think bad about themselves, to worry about what other people think, and that people, they just assume that other people will think bad things about them. I know I did. I know Joe did. I know you do, right? I know probably, sorry guys, about like 90% of the people in this chat do. Because it's something that we just kind of instinctively come to experience, is that we assume other people are going to think bad things about us, or we have to be really careful about what we say. But if you turn that around and make someone feel good about who they are, if you turn that around and be like, wow, this person thinks good of me, and now I think better of me. If you can make someone feel good about who they are inside, that's the biggest thing you can possibly do. That's the most important thing you can possibly do in a single conversation. So if you can take time to listen to what they say, after you start a conversation, be crazy, be weird, be wild, be awkward. Start up conversations with people. You know, I had to force myself to do this. I said, Black Static would do it. He would go down, sit right next to that person. I don't even know them. And then he would say, hey, I like your shoes. Or, hey, whatever, like whatever it is to start up a conversation. I know he would do it, so I'm going to do it. And then I forced myself to actually do that in real life, right? And that was really difficult. But it was only difficult the first couple of times. Then it got real fun. It got real fun real fast. Because you know what? People were waiting. People were waiting to interact with somebody. People were waiting for someone to make a friend out of them. Because everybody's in that boat. Just everyone's too worried about what other people think about them to actually just go out of their way to make someone feel good. You know, if we stop worrying about how we look to others and worry about how they look to themselves or how we look at them, we could just change the world. You know, we could change the culture from the root and be like, you know what, this world's like, there's a lot more happy people in it now, just by doing that. So if you talk to somebody, you start up a conversation, you force yourself to do that. It's a little nerve-wracking at first, but it gets easy. You know, you sit down next to somebody, you start a conversation with whatever you want, then you listen to them, and then you kind of egg them on. You get them to talk more and more, a lot like what Joe said. Oh, really? Why is that? Or how did you get there? Or where did you buy that? Oh, that sounds really interesting. Who did you go with? Oh, you went yourself? Or, oh, you went with your mom. That's interesting. What does she do? Ask questions, right? And then at the end of all of that, whatever, you know, at the end of a conversation, try to figure out a way, like, in that conversation, what stood out to me as, like, impressive? Something I would like to emulate that they're talking about. Like a good habit that they have, or something good about them that they can recognize and you can just affirm them on. I think that really goes a long way. Then, yeah. Anyways, so obviously that's dealing with people. For your worrying, it's just something you get over by practice. You practice what we're talking about right now, and you'll get over worrying about what other people think about you. Because you'll find out soon enough that people's opinions, they're pretty blank when it comes to you. They're not really thinking about you.
They're not. They're thinking about themselves.
Yeah. Sorry to break it to you.
They're too busy worried about themselves.
Yes. Most people are way too worried about themselves to worry about you. And so you don't have to worry so much about saying the right thing or the right way at the right time. Yes, there is tactfulness that you do have to pay attention. And if you've already got that down, that's awesome. Again, the first rule that I have is if you've got a concern, just put it out there at the beginning and then say whatever you want. Like, hey, like you really don't want to hurt a person, you know? You are genuinely like trying to be like, wow, I'm not making fun of you. I literally, really actually like your shoes a lot. You know, I'm not like, oh, nice shoes, dude. Where'd you buy those at? You know, like would you get those from the garbage can? Like, no, I am serious right now. I think your shoes are awesome. You know, like, if you have to do it that way, it's okay. They're going to get the point and be like, walk away and be like, that guy was really weird about that, but I feel good. I feel good. I feel good inside. That guy made me feel good, even though he was really weird. But that's kind of sometimes how it goes, right? Things can go awkward, and it's okay. Because at the end of the day, if that person feels good about themselves, oh man, you are moving forward so far you don't even know. It's awesome. But anyhow, hopefully that helps. I know it was really weird and kind of long-winded, but I'm going to hand it over to Joe, and then we'll probably finish up the stream.
Yeah, one thing you can do when I was listening to Ryan, he was talking about having conversations with people and asking questions. Sometimes you're at a loss for words. I've been that, like I just don't know what to ask. What do I ask people? How do I ask the question? Like the oh really, why is that word? Just kind of ran its course. One thing you can do, and I've done this when I'm tired a lot of times, and I'm listening, but I'm kind of tired and I'm just not with it, I'll kind of say the last couple words that they finished with in their statement. So be like, oh, for instance, well, I was just over by the school. Oh, the school. Yeah, well, we were over and my car broke down. It broke down? Yeah, well, this and that, another thing, and
I've done that so much.
You just say the last few words of their statement, and what happens is it just draws them out. So I wanted to mention that because sometimes we don't know what to ask. We're not I don't have all the questions in the world, because you just say the last few words, and you go up in pitch.
Yeah, because that's how English works. That's not how it works in other languages, but it works like that in English.
In English?
Yeah, in English as compared to any other type of language.
Oh, another language.
Yeah, like Japanese or Korean, they don't necessarily always go... You are interrupting me.
Interrupting you?
Yeah, that's the process in which someone takes their time away from you because they stopped you in the middle of something to say what they thought was more important.
More important?
Yeah, like me compared to you. You're the center of the world. All right.
I love it.
No.
Anyway, Little Miss Fancy also has something on here too. She's posted in the chat. I'm also really shy. One kid asked me if they could borrow my ruler, but I was using it, so I told him to get one from the desk in front of us. But he kept bugging me to give him mine, so I just flatly said, no, I'm using it. Get your own. And I never talked to this guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I've never talked to this guy again, but man, does it bug me. I wish I could apologize. I still haven't apologized. It's been like 5 months, and I doubt he remembers it all, but he still keeps me up at night, and I feel really bad. Oh. But it shouldn't matter. I stood my ground, and I needed that ruler, but I just feel so bad about it.
Yeah, I think...
totally...
Yeah, that's super relatable.
Yeah. Well, what that does is it tells me a little something about your nature. Like you have a heart for other people. You want to help them out. You want to be helpful. You want to do things for others. You put others before yourself, and that's a great position to have, right? What the thing though to think about? Okay, flip the situation and put yourself in that other kid's shoes. Can you even imagine doing that to another person? Bugging them to that extent about the ruler? Probably not. I mean, I sit there and I think to myself, like when people treat me a certain way sometimes, or that they act like, and I feel bad because I didn't acquiesce to their request or whatever, right? Like, I, like I sometimes I'll flip that over and I'll just be like, if I was them and I was acting that way, that'd be like unthinkable. Like I would never act that way. Why is it right for them to act that way? So sometimes there are moments when you're like, wait a second, no, I didn't do anything wrong here. I would never have done that to another person. This is just somebody acting a certain way. And I remember a priest telling me one time, he's like, going along with bad behavior doesn't help the person who's behaving badly. And that was a huge aha moment for me, because there are certain people in my life that I've been mistreated by on a habitual basis. And it's just like, if you just let them do it and you don't point out that it's wrong, they're going to go around behaving badly and thinking it's okay.
Right.
So you did the right thing, and I understand that you feel bad and everything, and that says a lot about your nature, and I appreciate you for who you are. But as painful as it was, you did the right thing. And so you can rest assured, I said so. And Ryan nodded his head while I said it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
No, we're good.
Oh, we are?
I think so.
Okay.
Are we good? I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the center. You tell me.
Oh.
Okay,
Well,
good.
Magician says
Okay.
one cannot compare another to oneself, for each one's views and experiences and location is different from yours. That's absolutely true. We all kind of have an idea of what's right.
Yeah.
And
All right. Yeah, it's true. It's just like, we're all different people. We can learn a lot by examining other people and the things that they do and asking, why would they do that? What's their reason? And then trying to find the logical conclusion. And we can learn about ourselves a lot that way too. I think it's super important to reflect on those type of things. But what Joe was talking about is so true as well. To look at somebody's behavior, which is wrong, and allow them to do that without calling them out actually hurts them. It's like exactly the same thing as like with a little kid or with a dog. The dog doesn't pee on the carpet, and then you're like, oh, it's okay. Good boy. You did your best. The dog's going to be like, okay, I guess it's okay for me to pee on the carpet.
this is where I pee.
This is where I pee now. I was told that it's okay. And you kind of got to like, unfortunately for some dogs, you got to rub their nose in and be like, this is very wrong, so they don't do it again. And people are the same way. If you don't stop someone from doing something wrong, they're going to think that it's okay to do it, and they'll just keep doing wrong things, and they'll never learn. And it's going to be sad for them. It's going to be sad for everybody that you deal with, but it's also going to be really sad for them. So yeah. Anyhow, so don't worry about the ruler thing. Here's the thing. If you're worried about it, what you can do is you can, again, just state your concern. Like I said, it's okay to be open. Because here's the thing. If you're not open, you're closed. Which means you close yourself off from everyone. you are not going to, you know, learn how to have good conversations with people. You're not going to learn how to help people better than you do now. There's all sorts of different things. Like if you close your heart off to the world, you close yourself off is what you do. You close yourself off from being able to affect the world or change anything. I've had so many conversations with so many people, and so many times I have a conversation with somebody that's deep, like a deep conversation, something meaningful. I'm asking them really deep questions about their own beliefs or the way that they go about things in their life and things like that, right? And at the end of it, they're like, wow, I don't think I've had a conversation like that ever. And I'm like, seriously? I'm like, this is the kind of conversation I have like every day. And they're like, yeah, that felt really good. You know, people long to be opened up. People long to let themselves be open and like put their heart out there and be explained and be loved for who they are and where they're at, right? And you can only do that if you open your heart first. If you open yourself up. You have to be vulnerable to get into somebody else's heart and then get them to be vulnerable to make a big difference in their life. You have to be open. So again, if you have anything that you feel, like you concerns especially, just put them out on their line. Just be like, this is how I feel right now, and I'm sorry. But yeah, I just don't want to hurt anybody. I just don't want to say the wrong thing, you know? And to this person with a the ruler incident, you could be like, hey, you know, it's been like, obviously it's been months, and you just go up to him randomly. It doesn't matter when. Just talk to him one time. Because there's no, oh, this is the moment that's perfect. Any moment's perfect. Trust me. There's like no designated specific time and point where this needs to happen. You just go up to them when they're alone sometime or when they're sitting next to you, and you just be like, hey, you know, like, I don't know, it was like 5 months ago you asked me for that ruler. I don't even know if you remember it. Anyways, I felt really bad for saying no. I mean, obviously you didn't need my ruler because there was one in front of me, but I still felt bad, so I wanted to say sorry. And yeah, don't be mad at me, please. Whatever, right? Or hey, I was just like, I wanted to be your friend. See where it goes, because that's how you kind of work those things through. Then when you go to bed at night, you're like, hey, I did something about it. Now I can let go of it. Because that's a lot of times what it is. When you're sitting there at night and you can't let go of something, you just need to do something about it. And when you do something about it, all of a sudden you can let go. But anyhow, I've run our time. So yeah, let's close this thing down. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your concerns. Thank you for all the constant chatter going on in the chat. It's really wonderful to see all your guys' own inputs and experiences, and even just the funny jokes and stuff that you guys tell. You guys are awesome. It's really wonderful. So we are happy to be here with you guys. Yeah. And
Yes.
yeah, thank you so much, Princess, for getting our backs here. And we'll make sure to have send prayers for your dad. As well as who was it earlier that had the
Kendra.
Kendra, yeah, okay.
Kendra had the car thing.
Yes.
And
someone died.
somebody.
Kendra knows someone who died. My chat doesn't go up far enough.
Yeah, I think it was Kendra.
It was someone in her family. But yeah, okay. Anyways, yeah, we'll pray for you guys, and yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you had a wonderful time. And any final words, Joe? Any final words?
Any final words?
Any last words?
Thank you guys so much for being here, and come back next Wednesday.
Yes.
We're gonna be here. Stay tuned. It's gonna be cool.
Oh,
there's cool stuff coming.
Thanks, Lurker. Thanks for showing up, Starlight Reaper. You're awesome, dude. Well, by the way, yes, we appreciate anybody who's lurking, who is literally not even saying anything in the chat. We appreciate you guys too. You guys are awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in and for checking us out. So
yeah, and anytime you feel like joining in, you feel free.
Yeah, and next time, hopefully, we'll have a better layout for you guys. Obviously, this was a little bit awkward because our Our producer wasn't here, but we made do.
It worked.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Love you guys a bunch. We will see you next time on Wednesday around the same time. Bye-bye. Peace.
Love you guys.